and I've been told I should do my job, but even so, I think we do need something to wrap up. So let me offer, just as quickly as I can, a couple of observations triggered by the conversation here and the deep discussion of the KDF-9. The KDF-9 is a machine I too knew, a very loved machine in our department. It was a machine that we... Listen, my first money out of computing was as a night operator on KDF-9.
Oh, I see.
Elizabeth Barraclough gave me the job. She's regretted it ever since, but you know. So the KDF-9 was a machine that people had a harmony and a commonality with. And one day, it just disappeared. And a colleague, our archivist, John Lloyd, was so incensed by this situation. This is relevant to Brian. You know, Brian cultivates an atmosphere in which impertinence to your seniors and betters you can get away with. The most senior person in the department was our head of department. They were big beasts then. It's deteriorated since, but they were figures of power and authority. And there was a comment about the KDF-9 which echoes down the years of history and deserves repetition for those who haven't heard it. John wrote it, and he's here with us, but I'm going to remind you of it. It's to the tune of Nellie Dean, which I'm not going to render, but it begins, "Oh, he sold," that's Page, "the KDF-9 to buy a Volvo." It was in the car park for all to see. Back to Brian Wichmann, who's given us this splendid talk, reaching down the years. Let me just again say, when Brian arrived, I mentioned this earlier, I was a humble PhD student working on syntax analysis methods, and 200 pages of effort earned me a PhD. They've regretted it ever since, and so on. John Rushby worked in a very similar area. I made some tentative steps. John completed the marathon and sorted the whole thing out in about 600 pages, and he got his PhD in the area of syntax analysis. At the same time, Wichmann was writing a report entitled "A Syntax Checker for Algol 60. The whole works. This bloody document I'm waving at you from 1974 has 16 pages of complete description of how to syntax check Algol 60, and another 20 pages he's written the Ruddy program to show you how to do it. So clearly, John, we were spending far too much time on it. We should have turned to Brian Wichmann.